Super Mario Galaxy is easily one of my favorite games ever made, and so I thought it'd be fun to rank every single star in the game. This is based on a combination of design, fun, and admittedly quite a bit of nostalgic bias as well. Now, this is my first ever attempt at a YouTube video, and I've been trying very, very hard to make something high quality to upload as my first attempt, but it's just not working, and I need to upload something. Something is better than nothing. So, this is a completely unedited, unscripted, live tier list creation that I am just gonna let myself kind of make crappy. It's not gonna be very high quality, of course. I'm gonna stutter over my words many times. There's gonna be mistakes. Might even be a yawn in there. I don't know. Regardless, I'm just gonna let myself go against my intuition to upload something really good and just get something up there because that's definitely a better way to start than not doing anything at all. All right. I did just recently play through this game a couple of times, so I do have a lot of these stars fresh in my mind. This tier list was made by Super M789. If you want, you can be the 12th follower, though I highly doubt this person uh, is still active on this website. I could be wrong, but I don't know when this tier list was made, and don't really care to check, but regardless, I'm going to get started. They seem to have labeled these in a bit of an odd way, but I can tell what they were going for, and it's a hell of a lot better than I did because I don't know how this website works at all. So I'm just going to tell you what the name is because, as pathetic as it is, I've memorized every single star name in this game, and I can tell you based on these screenshots what the star is referring to. Okay, these are in alphabetical order of galaxy and then, of course, by star. So let's begin with Battle Rock 1, Battle Rock Barrage. This is an interesting star. It's pretty early on in the game, so it's not supposed to be super difficult. Even still, I think it is very, very easy. Um, Basically, what happens in this star is after a short introductory section to the saucers, you get on this platform and basically have a long auto scroller through some electric gates and a lot of cannonballs being shot at you. It's really, really easy. There's plenty of space on the saucer to dodge everything it throws at you. But I do think it's a fairly fun star. It's just not the best to revisit time and time again because it's so slow. And with that in mind, with the competition being as steep as it is, I'm going to actually put this star in C tier. Not bad. It's just not the best. All right, let's see. Battle Rock 2, that is breaking into the Battle Rock. This one has a heavy use on bob-ombs. After you go through the starting planet, you get to go through a 2D section. There's a planet with a bunch of chain chomps with a hungry Luma to go to the secret star. There is a pole star section as well in this one. And of course, there's the segment where you break into the Battle Rock. That section's really cool. You have to use bombs to blow up these cannons and then shoot to free a Luma from some glass. And then you can use another cannon on the last planet to shoot to the star through some cages. I really like this mission. It's fun. It's got a lot of variety. I'm going to put it in one tier higher, B tier. Don't have too much to say about it. Not my favorite, but I do think it's fun enough to bump up to B tier. Let's see. Top Maniac and the Top Man Tribe. Battle Rock 3. This one is okay. It's really similar to Battle Rock 2, just kind of going on a bunch of different planets. There's a cool segment where you go into the Battle Rock again, and you have to fight some top men, or I don't know what they're called, the red ones with the spike tops. And a lot of this star is about hitting the top men into the lasers. Again, I'm going to probably put it in B tier, slightly below Battle Rock 2, or do I want it above? No, I'd say below just because I think the 2D section makes breaking into the Battle Rock a little more fun, but also the boss fight with Top Maniac is not good. Speaking of, Battle Rock Comet is Top Maniac's Daredevil run. F tier. This star sucks. I do not mind comments repeating at all. Like I can live with that, but this star is just not enjoyable. Top Maniac is such a pathetically easy boss, and you fight him a total of 4 times throughout the game. You fight him in Breaking into the Battle Rock, Top Maniac and the Top Man Tribe, Revenge of the Top Man Tribe, Top Man Tribe speed run and Top Maniac's Daredevil run. The boss is not good enough to be fought more than once, let alone 4 times. And I guess in a vacuum, I'm not going to judge the star for making it. Like, I'm not going to judge it in a vacuum because the other 4 times kind of are on their own an issue. But this one is just the laziest of them all, which is saying something. Basically, the fight is you jump on his head and then spin him into the electric things like you've been doing the rest of the level, and that's it. That's all you do. It's not enjoyable. I don't look forward to refighting him. What a waste of a comet. They could have had something different. I really don't know. Maybe even a fast foe comet with the breaking into the Battle Rock, maybe? Or maybe Battle Rock Barrage could have been a fast foe comet with cannon shooting, double time, or something like that. They could have gotten a lot more unique with it than what they did. It was just a really, really boring boss that you just refight again. And yes, of course, the fact that you can only get hit once means there is a risk of dying, but that doesn't really add any fun to the level. It just makes it more annoying if you do get hit and have to do it again. Yeah, definitely F tier. Not a good one. All right, Battle Rock, Luigi. So this is referring to Luigi Under the Saucer, which is the Luigi mission. Battle Rock is one of 2 galaxies, along with Dusty Dune Galaxy, to have 7 stars in it. The 6 main stars that all the big galaxies have, and then Luigi kind of adds 1 extra star to those 2 galaxies. This is also, or a green star, I'm sorry, it's not Luigi, it's a green star in both cases. Luigi is the only one, this is the only one where you actually have Luigi involved. The other 2 Luigi stars are just normal secret stars. Anyway, Luigi Under the Saucer is just Battle Rock Barrage again, but then you find Luigi under the saucer. I'm just going to put it in the same tier, slightly below, because you're doing the same mission again, and you don't, I don't know, it's not super interesting. Getting the bullet bill to break Luigi's cage, though, is kind of tricky. Definitely not the easiest thing to do, but overall, definitely not enough to bump it up a tier. Next up, we have Battle Rock Purple Comet, which is purple coins on the Battle Rock. This one is very, very similar to Battle Rock Barrage. Man, I've said Battle Rock so many times. But it's much, much harder because one mistake can definitely result in a failure. If you miss 1 coin, there's basically no way to get it, which on one hand adds some much needed challenge to the level, but on the other hand is really frustrating when you miss just 1 coin. I don't know where to put this one. It's definitely not higher than B tier. You know what? I'm going to put it in between Battle Rock 2 and 3. I mean, I am trying to order these tiers, obviously, as you can tell so far, but I don't really have a strong opinion on where this one should go. So I think in between these 2 is fine. I can justify that. All right, next up we have Battle Rock Secret, which is Battle Rock's garbage dump. This is the very infamous level. Everyone complains about how hard it is. So in order to get to it, you have to feed a hungry Luma on the planet, the colorful ball planet with the chain chomps, or chomp balls, or whatever they're called. And then this planet gets created. You go there and find it's a garbage dump, which makes absolutely no sense because the hungry Luma literally just became the planet, so how could it possibly... I'm overthinking this. It's a Mario game. So this star is really infamous, but having played through the game probably close to 10 times, I can say it's not super difficult and not super interesting either. It is a decently fun minigame. So, you know, as long as there's only one of them in the game, it's not going to be too bad. Foreshadowing. Basically, it's just okay. I'm going to put it at the bottom of C tier. It's not bad. It's somewhat engaging. I don't mind it. And I understand why a lot of people would absolutely hate it, but I think it's fun. All right, now we're on to Beach Bowl Galaxy, starting with Sunken Treasure. I really, really love Beach Bowl. This star is interesting. So on your first playthrough, obviously, this is the you're gonna go in the water and, you know, swim for the star chips, and this is actually your first introduction to swimming mechanics of Mario Galaxy. And I think it does a really good job because you have to explore this open area. There really isn't too much danger in there, and it gives you plenty of time to get used to the swimming controls. And then you have a little fun section above the waterfall area as well. Overall, really good. But what bumps this up from a B tier to an A tier is one, I just love Beach Bowl's aesthetic and music. It's just a great, happy level. And two, it's very, very easy to just do a backflip spin, wall jump spin to entirely skip getting the star chips. So that kind of somewhat, what would be a somewhat boring tutorial area on the second playthrough is actually completely optional for experienced players. And I really like that. There's no way the developers didn't know about that. I mean, and there's a lot of areas in these games, or we're only talking about Mario Galaxy 1 today, but there's a lot of areas in both games, especially Galaxy 1, where you can skip things, some of which are not intentional, but ones like this definitely were. And I think that is a phenomenal piece of design, game design. It's one reason why a lot of the 2D Metroid games, especially Super Metroid, are some of my favorite Metroid games, because they encourage sequence breaking on subsequent playthroughs. This game doesn't do nearly as... It's not very upfront about it like some of the Metroid games are, but I do think that it's a very, very good thing to have in your game and increases replayability significantly. Anyway, yeah, I'm putting this in A tier. Not quite worthy of S tier. It's not super standout or anything, but it's really, really fun. I like it a lot. Beach Bowl 2, though, what the hell happened? B tier. I'm not going to put it in F tier. It's not the worst thing ever. So this is supposed to introduce swimming with shells, but it doesn't do that. All you do is you swim. You're told that you've got to go find a golden shell. It's called passing the swim test, by the way. I should have mentioned that. And you go down there, and eventually you're going to find some penguins swimming around with a golden shell. Spin next to the penguin, steal the shell from the kid. But Mario, why? Why are you such a jerk? That is completely uncalled for. Steal the shell, swim up to the surface, give it to the guy, and that's it. That's the whole mission. This is really short. Feels like a complete waste of time. Easily one of the easiest missions in the game. You know what? I changed my mind on this. F tier. Top of F tier, because it does try to introduce the shell mechanic, but a lot of the things about shells are not going to be taught here at all. All you need to do is like hold up to go to the surface and then jump out of the water and talk to the guy, and that's all you do. There is no... Like, it doesn't teach you about braking. It doesn't teach you about different intricacies of spinning it, or how the light can be used to defeat enemies, which is a very, very niche use, but something. The shells are a really, really important part of Mario Galaxy's swimming controls being as fun as they are, and this mission does a horrible job teaching it, and it's just really boring and unnecessary. Feels like filler, and that's really a shame. And now I have one of my most controversial opinions. Battle Rock 3, or not Battle Rock, we're on Beach Bowl. Beach Bowl 3, which is the secret undersea cavern, is not amazing. I will say this does a better job introducing the shells because you actually have to throw them, which is one of the other big things I forgot to mention passing the swim test failed to teach you. Like, what if passing the swim test had a segment where you had to hit some targets with some shells, like really big targets, you know, because this is your first introduction to them. Maybe you had to go on land and throw some shells and stuff. That would have been cool. And you could have had to do like 3 different tasks. One of them had you maneuvering through some obstacles underwater, going through rings or something. One of them had you throwing them at targets, like I mentioned. And then the last one had you using your brake to maneuver around tight corners. I don't know. It would have been so much more interesting and fun. Granted, on subsequent playthroughs, it probably would have been weaker. But you know what? That's understandable. That's a worthy price to pay for a more engaging mission. Whatever. Anyway, we can move back on to the third mission, where you do actually throw a shell into the undersea cavern, break it open, and you go in and then take a launch star to the infamous Stone Cyclone planet. Now, Nintendo seems to absolutely adore this planet a lot, and it is the bulk of the mission. But honestly, I'm not a huge fan. They used it 2 different times in Galaxy 1, and then brought it back in Galaxy 2, where they also used it 2 different times. Why? Like, maybe if this had some purple coins or something on it, it would be fun, but it's just kind of a lot of waiting around for tox boxes to move, and in Mario Galaxy specifically, where there's already a lot of really cool and dynamic planets, it doesn't really hold up. If this were in a lesser game, this would be one of the best missions because it's, the gravity mechanic of Mario Galaxy, as well as just being Galaxy having amazing level design in general. But Mario Galaxy is by no means a lesser game, and I don't think this quite holds up. Still, I'm willing to give it the bottom of C tier. It's not quite worthy of D tier. Objectively, it's probably B tier or something, but if I was doing it completely biased, I would put it in D, but I'm gonna be generous to it. And then we have one of two fast foe comets in the game. Yes, they only had two of these for some reason. Fast foes on the Cyclone Stone. It's fine. I almost want to give it C tier because it actually uses the fast foe comet, but I can't. It's D tier. I mean, it's the same cyclone planet, but no introductory planet to actually get you interested, or actually do something engaging. Really boring. Not a fan at all. Yeah, just really boring comet. Not F tier though, because the planet itself is fine. And actually, the fast foes does make the planet a little bit more enjoyable, I guess, because it's faster paced. It's also not super difficult at all. So, eh. Beach Bowl Purple, or this is the purple coin mission in Beach Bowl Galaxy, which is beach combing for purple coins, I believe is what it's called. This mission is really, really fun. It uses the spring mushroom, which is a very underutilized power up for what many would say, argue, are obvious reasons. Although, actually, other than exactly one purple coin high up on a platform at the top section, you don't need the spring mushroom at all, which I think is cool. And I try to get every purple coin without using the spring mushroom just for fun whenever I play, because I just love how Mario and Luigi control on their own without the power up. I really like it. It's not hard, like, at all. You can die. There's a few sections where you kind of have to go off the edge, but if you just go there at the start so that you don't have too much pressure on yourself, it's not a tricky mission, which isn't inherently bad. A lot of the purple coin missions aren't super hard. Some of them are definitely meant to be a challenge at the late game, but some of them are just kind of meant to give you one last sweep through the galaxy, and this is definitely an example of the latter. And I really enjoy it. I don't You know what? Yeah, I'm giving it A tier. I like a lot of the purple coin missions. In fact, I'll even put it above Beach Bowl 1. I really, really like it. Speaking of really liking something, Beach Bowl's Secret, wall jumping up waterfalls, S tier. I love this mission. Okay, so I believe it's passing the swim test. You have to get a shell and find some random chest, which is a little stupid. It's kind of just hidden in a corner, and if you happen to explore there, then there you go, you got it. But man, the planet you go to is so awesome. I love it. So basically, you get to use the Ice Flower, which is a criminally underutilized power up in Mario Galaxy, and we will get back to that many, many times throughout this video. But man, this mission is so cool. I mean, all you do is wall jump up waterfalls. It's really not that amazing. All you do is they're just basically normal wall jumping, but just the concept alone is so much fun. It also introduces cataquacks for some reason. It's a little weird. And also, this is your first introduction to the Ice Flower, unless you miss the secret mission, which is entirely possible for you to do. But it seems like a kind of a weird way to introduce it. Like, it doesn't feel like a tutorial segment, really. It just kind of feels like a segment that utilizes it later in the game. But that's not a big deal, especially when it's that much fun. You gotta climb up, use some sling stars, and then you get to the top section where you gotta guide the cataquack to underneath the star and have it fling you up. Again, I do think I will not put it in SS tier. That's going to be few and far between with those. But I still think it's really cool, and it's yeah, I love the Ice Flower. Any mission that uses the Ice Flower immediately gets points in my eyes. But yeah, great mission, really fun, really unique. Absolutely love it. Now we have Big Mouth Galaxy. Big Mouth's Gold Bait, the one and only star in this galaxy. I really like this one. It's simple, but it's fun. I'm going to give it the bottom of A tier. I don't have too much to say on it. It uses the shells well. It's got great atmosphere. Do I want to put it in A tier or B tier? I'm gonna keep it in A tier, but barely. It's a pretty peaceful galaxy. It's not super difficult. It's one of the very few segments where it actually utilizes the shells of light because you get to kill some boos with it. I think I'm giving it A tier mainly for its uniqueness, more so than its execution. In execution, it's just okay. You can actually just skip like the entire mission by just wall jumping in between two segments of water, which is I was praising skips back in Sunken Treasure, but that's not a challenge. Like someone could easily figure that out in their first playthrough and do it if they couldn't find all the star chips. It's not hard to do at all. Not helped by the fact that this is one of the later missions. Um, but I really like how you go through the same area backwards, but it doesn't really feel that tedious or repetitive because the area is different and it's also not a very long area to begin with. I like how it gives you the Koopa shell early so that you can use it to swim through and you don't have to go through the slow and painful process. And it also shows the player that normal shells aren't going to break it. You have to find the gold one. I also absolutely love how Captain Toad is in there and he just so happened to fall in there. Like, how the hell did you do that? It's really dumb. I just love cute little things like that about this game. Captain Toad's just such a great character. Captain Toad for Smash. Anyway, uh, good mission. Pretty simple, pretty fun. I like the atmosphere. Yeah, not much more to say. Bonefin. So, I said before that SS tier is going to be very, very rare, few and far between, and I stand by that, but this is absolutely one that deserves it. Bonefin Galaxy is damn near perfection. I can not think of a single way to improve this mission. So you start with the typical cinematic flying through space, and you land on a starship, and all you see is this super menacing looking planet in the back, and it is really intimidating. You go up, hit the launch star, and fly into the water, and immediately you're thrown right into a cutscene where all you hear some ominous music playing, and you get this amazing first-person shot of inside King Finn's mouth, and then his teeth open and you see the beast and you're like, whoa. And the boss fight is just so great. It utilizes galaxy swimming controls really, really well. It's not the most difficult boss, but it's definitely not the easiest in the game either. Seriously, try doing it without refilling your air at all. Well, with Luigi, that's really, really hard to do, and it took me a very long time to figure it out. But with Mario, you can try it, and it's a really fun and unique challenge. Utilizes the shells really well. Super fun boss. The music is the music's incredible. I know that track gets used many times throughout the game, but it just fits King Finn so incredibly perfectly. Just an amazing boss. This isn't a long mission, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's simple, it's fun, it is just damn near perfect. I cannot think of a single way to improve it, other than the fact that the baby sharks, like the little kingfins that Kingfin spawns, they don't they're either going to hit you unfairly or they're just not going to be a problem. I wish it were a little more like you had to dodge, like actually maneuver around them more often. That would have been cool. It's not the end of the world though. Ultimately, it does not spoil what is easily one of the best boss fights in either Galaxy game. Amazing. And King Finn's Fearsome Waters, by the way, is what that one's called. I think I forgot to mention it. Now we have Boo's Boneyard Galaxy. This is racing the Spooky Speedster. Now this actually utilizes the Boo Mushroom, which is something that very, very few missions in this game do. And it's fine. I have absolutely no issues with it, but it's also not super cool. I'm going to give it the top of B tier. It utilizes the Boo Mushroom, which is a pretty fun power-up, but ultimately you're just flying down the whole time, and it's really easy to win. Not a super memorable mission, despite being one of the few to use the Boo Mushroom. Although, I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I don't really have too much to say on it. Music isn't really standout, which I know it's good music. That's what's weird. The music is decent. It's just that every single mission, literally every single galaxy in this game has amazing, amazing music. So, yeah. Now, just having okay music isn't really going to cut it when we're comparing these stars amongst each other. Also, keep in mind, this is not a tier list based on how good I think the star is compared to other missions in 3D platformers. Otherwise, pretty much all of these would be up in these 3 tiers. Again, Galaxy is just an incredible, incredible game. And the sequel's also within my top 10 favorite games. Both of them are actually in my top 5 favorite games, but I still prefer the original. Mainly nostalgia, maybe mainly because 2 uses a lot of abilities like one time and then never uses again, which the first game does struggle with somewhat, but not nearly as bad, and doesn't bother me nearly as much. All right, now we're on to the Bowser Galaxies already. Okay, feels kind of weird. Let's see, Bowser 1. I think this is referring to the Bowser's. Oh man, these are the Bowser Galaxies are the only ones where I get a little bit confused on what they're named. Let's see, I know it's Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor, Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. Oops. Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor, and then Bowser's Galaxy or Bowser's Star Reactor. Maybe this one's Bowser's Star Reactor. Regardless, I can tell you that I can do the mission names. Again, Bowser 1 is also the one where I struggle to remember the mission name a lot. I believe it is the Fiery Stronghold. That's what it is. This is a really good Bowser level. I'm going to put it in A tier above Big Mouth. Really solid Bowser level. Utilizes the gravity mechanic really well, and is probably the hardest segment of the game up to this point. And the Bowser fight's really good. Actually, I'm going to put it above Beach Bowl 1 on top of that. Really, really good mission, and I like it a lot. Definitely an A tier. Bowser 2, Bowser's Dark Matter Plant. Darkness on the Horizon. Amazing name, by the way. Really like that. This mission is not as good, but it's still solid. This one I'm actually going to put in between Beach Bowl 1 and Big Mouth. It kind of feels like a continuation of the first Bowser level, but it's just a little more slow paced. Like this segment that the screenshot is of specifically is a really slow auto scroller, and it can make subsequent playthroughs really boring. Although speedrunners have figured out how you can basically skip most of it with a crazy long jump, which is awesome, but it was clearly not intended, and I'm not gonna factor that into the design. The refight with Bowser is good, but it's okay. It's not. It's just that fighting Bowser 3 times throughout the game, where he's very, very similar each time, is not okay. Not my favorite. Speaking of my favorite, though, we have the Fate of the Universe, which is not only the best name, but I said one of, not quite my favorite, but one of my favorite missions in the game. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. No. I think there are many things this could have done better, but I don't care. It's so good. The fight with Bowser, we'll just start with the fight. The Bowser battle is incredible. Remember, I know I was just criticizing how similar Bowser feels, and I stand by that, but this is easily the best one when you combine the music, the atmosphere, how grandiose it all feels, flipping from planet to planet as Bowser uses different things, and you have to combine skills you've learned throughout your adventure. Wow. This Bowser fight is incredible. It's not super difficult or anything. That's one thing I do wish it did a little better. But the way you have to build up with the staircase, and then with Bowser Jr. shooting at you, and then, Bowser's speech is cool. One thing I don't like is how Bowser Jr. just sits there and does nothing while his dad gets beat up. He doesn't try to help. I think it actually would have been really cool if Bowser Jr. tried to, rain meteors down from his gunship. I mean, he literally just did that on the staircase up. Maybe you could rain some meteors down on the planet to make it a little more challenging. Or, even better yet, one thing that Mario Galaxy really, really dropped the ball on, in my opinion, was making the Luigi playthrough more distinct from the Mario playthrough. I think what they could have done to remedy that would be making the boss fights a little bit more difficult. And one of the ways they could have done that is with Bowser Jr. raining meteors during the final fight. They definitely could have, again, I think the Luigi playthrough, having the cosmic clone races be harder, was a huge, huge improvement, and it really makes me wish they did other things like that throughout the game. But they didn't, and that kind of sucks. Anyway, this is a fantastic finale. I didn't even mention the level yet. It utilizes gravity in so many cool ways, which is definitely works for Mario Galaxy. Is actually pretty tricky. Has a fire planet, an ice planet, a desert planet, a planet with blocks that appear right in front of you, and then it also has some typical castle planets as well. It utilizes a new gimmick you've never seen before, which is lights, like lights that have their own gravity, and I think it really fits well. Just because it introduces a new mechanic, that doesn't mean it's not a. It's still a good lesson of things you've learned throughout the game and a test of your skills. I really, really like this mission. I think it is a phenomenal way to close off a phenomenal game. Yeah, awesome. Next up, we have Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor, Megaleg's Moon, S tier. Great, great mission. I'm not going to quite put in SS because it is very, very easy. But I like how the first planet introduces the bullet bill mechanic, and then Bowser Jr. just comes and says, "You're about to get wrecked by my robot." And then the Shadow of the Colossus style climb up the robot is a lot of fun, and then taking it down and blowing it up from the inside is so cool. I think it really. I do wish the climbing up were a little bit, because most of the time you're going to spend on the head trying to get the bullet bill to unlock the Grand Star. But this is still one hell of an introduction to boss fights in Mario Galaxy, and I absolutely love it. Great, great job on that one. Next up, we have one of the most underrated missions in the game, in my opinion. Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada, sinking the airships. I'm not going to quite give this one S tier, but I am going to give it A tier. But probably above Bowser 1, but below the Beach Bowl Purple Coins. We'll just go there. I think that sounds good. The biggest thing I love about this mission is the Bowser Jr. fight. I love it so much. There's just so many projectiles being thrown around. It's complete chaos, and I absolutely adore it. Easily one of my favorite bosses in the game, and easily the most underrated boss as well. I have a lot, and I mean a lot of fun with it. And the rest of the level is okay. It's not amazing, which is why the mission isn't higher, but it's still really good. It uses the shells in a decent way to get you ready for the boss fight. And yeah, I think it's a pretty great mission, and I love it. Next up, we have Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor, King Caliente's Spicy Return. What the hell happened here? Yeah, I've been praising every single Bowser and Bowser Jr. level for being really good, but this one, not really. C tier, it's not bad. I mean, why are we fighting King Caliente again? This boss was pretty easy. Literally, the boss gets introduced in the first galaxy of the game, excluding Gateway Galaxy. Why are we fighting him as the boss right before the final boss in a Bowser level? Or I guess this is the final boss of a Bowser level that isn't the final boss. Like, why? He's hardly any more difficult. He just has some more meteors rain down from the sky and the platforms sink. Oh my gosh, you have to hit the jump button a few extra times. Like, what? I don't understand. They give you a very, very easily accessible life up mushroom as well. The reason this one isn't getting D tier, you know what? No, I'm sorry. It is getting D tier. It's just so disappointing. I don't know what happened. I really do like the atmosphere for whatever reason. I like the way the sinking... I like how there's this ginormous lava planet that you're sitting on, and then just these tiny little platforms you're on. I don't know. I really like that. It just makes you feel like you're only a tiny speck on this giant lava planet. Kind of goes away when you actually fight the boss, though. Just a really disappointing ending to the Bowser Jr. levels. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Well, yes, I do. Reuse assets. That's one thing that Mario Galaxy did a lot. And I'll be honest, it gets away with it more than a lot of other games do, but yeah. Okay, now we're on to an interesting one. Bubble Blast Galaxy, the Electric Labyrinth. S tier. Yes, really. This mission is easily one of the hardest in the game. So it does use pointer controls, which is a controversial topic. I personally don't mind it. It was on the Wii, and it's a little bit gimmicky, sure, but it's fine. It's honestly fine. It works well, and That doesn't bother me. Here's the thing: the track that they use for this mission adds to the atmosphere of just being a helpless little bubble floating in space, just at the will of the wind, so well. And yes, again, this track is used many, many times, but for whatever reason, it fits this um, it fits this mission's tone way better than a lot of others. I really like how you have to go through the 5 different segments and you get to choose which order you do them in. So on subsequent attempts, if you when you inevitably die on your first playthrough, you can choose to go to the hardest one first so that you can get it out of the way. And then it makes the harder, it makes your nerve, when your nerves are higher, you get to do the easier sections. And then the final part where you're just running away from bullet bills like crazy, it's actually one of the few times the game uses bullet bills without requiring you to break something open. Um, it's just really intense and fun, fast paced. Just a great, great mission and really cool utilization of the bubble mechanic. Not nearly as good is Breeze Galaxies through the Poison Swamp. I really like the start, how the starship crash landed and you get to talk to the Toad Brigade, but then the bubble segment is just okay. It's just not super exciting. I guess I'll put the top of B tier. The atmosphere is all right, and I like the. There's just nothing. There's just nothing to say about this mission. It's just okay, other than the starting area. It's just really doesn't utilize the bubble super well, and it's okay. Now we're talking. Buoy Base Galaxy, easily one of the best easily one of the best songs in the entire game, which already has some of not only my favorite video game songs, but a lot of the songs in this game are some of my favorite pieces of music ever made. This game, I cannot stress enough, this game has my favorite soundtrack of any video game ever. Honestly, the only competition is like Galaxy 2, I guess, which also has a phenomenal soundtrack, but man, Buoy Base Galaxy specifically is just I remember on my most recent playthrough when I first landed in Buoy Base, I just sat there and let the track play through for the first cycle because of course, tracks in Galaxy and many video games just kind of are on a loop. And I just let the first loop just play as I just stared at the giant floating fortress in front of me. Man, this mission is just awesome. I love how you go underwater, which somehow also makes the music really good as well. It kind of gives it a different vibe, but it's still really good. And use the torpedo TEDs to lift the thing up. It's really cool. And then you got to climb the thing. You got to use some top men to spring up. You got to collect star chips around the spinning segment. And then you got to go up onto the Pokeball. Yeah, there's a random Pokemon reference in this galaxy for no reason. Okay, I mean it's fine. I'm not. I don't like Pokemon personally. I'm not a huge fan, but hey, cool reference regardless. Just really random, and yeah, this gets an SS tier. It really does. It doesn't. I think, just honestly, it's the music. I mean, the level design would still probably get an S tier, but the music is just so unbelievably good. Words cannot describe that. Also, then we have a green star in Buoy Base Galaxy. And again, the green stars kind of break the rules of how many stars Galaxy is supposed to have. This is one of the small galaxies, but it gets an extra star because the green star just, again, breaks the rules and gets an extra star. That's how Dusty Dune and Battle Rock also have 7 instead of the normal 6 that the big galaxies have. This one is still really, really good. You basically break a random cage, you go down a pipe, and then use some bullet bills to break open the star. Not super interesting, but you still get the amazing Buoy Base music. It's A tier. It's not very long, and it is kind of a cool diversion of expectations because you don't expect there to be a secret here. But yeah, cool. I really like it. Again, anything that lets us listen to that amazing music. It's honestly really a shame that they didn't use this music throughout different parts of the game, and they only use it for this one galaxy. But hey, maybe that's what makes it so good. It's much more memorable and unique to this galaxy. Yeah, I can't gush over that song enough. It's so good. All right. Now we're on to one galaxy that I think, from what I can tell, a lot of people don't really like. Deep Dark Galaxy. I personally don't mind it, but I understand why some people dislike it. It is a water level. Oh no. Scary. But it's unique. It's a very unique galaxy in a lot of ways. And, well, wait till we get to Mission 2. But mission 1 is the underground ghost ship, and this one is really good. You fight Camilla. This is the second time you fight her, although technically it could be the first, depending on how you route through the game. But for most players, it's absolutely not going to be the first time. And it's a really fun boss fight that I like a lot, as we'll get to when we talk about the Daredevil comet. It's a the mission itself is interesting. So you're on the beach and there's a cage, so you can't go further into the depths of the galaxy. But you can take a cannon up to a planet where you get a fire flower, have to hurry back, light some torches next to the cage or next to the wall, and then the way is open and you can proceed. That is a very weird idea, but it's one of the later galaxies, so I'm perfectly fine with that. And it utilizes a power-up, which this game does kind of struggle to utilize power-ups in cool ways unless the level itself is centered around that power-up. And Deep Dark Galaxy specifically, I think, does a very good job of actually utilizing the power-ups properly, as we'll again get to later. I wish the game utilized power-ups in more small, secluded ways like Deep Dark Galaxy does. I think that would have benefited the game and made it feel like the resources were not wasted, because certain power-ups like the Boo Mushroom gets used literally 3 times, which is a pathetically small amount and should have absolutely been more. And Spring Mushroom is used a total of 5 times, but 3 of those are in Toy Time Galaxy, so yikes. It could have definitely been used more as well. But yeah, or it might have only been 3 times or 4 times for the Spring Mushroom. I don't know. But regardless, I wish they were used in more small segments like Deep Dark does. I think I would have benefited the game's power-ups a lot more. And yeah, I think Deep Dark, and I think that opening segment is unique and cool. Then you swim deep down and you go into this underground segment with water. I like how you have to break through some bricks, open a cage, and then you come up and hey, look at that. Sure enough, there's an underground ghost ship. The Camilla boss fight is pretty unexpected, comes out of nowhere, and it's fun. She actually takes, or she, I'm pretty sure it's a she. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, she's got lipstick. I mean, it could be a guy, I guess, but most likely Camilla is a female. It also sounds like a woman's name. I don't know. I always thought Kamek was a girl for a long time, just because of the robe when I was younger. So that's why I get them confused. But anyway, her boss fight's really fun. I like it a lot. And she, the Daredevil we'll get to the Daredevil comment in a bit. But overall, really cool mission. I like it. I'm gonna give it, we'll say bottom of A tier. I think. We'll put it above Big Mouth Galaxy, and probably above Bowser 2. I think that's a good spot. Deep Dark 2 Bubble Blast Off. This is easily the weirdest mission in the game, in my opinion. I have no words for how random and weird this gets. So, you start the mission the exact same way. Why? Why are we doing this again? We just did this puzzle in the first mission. Do we really have to do it again? But it's a little bit different because there's another torch you can light, and if you light it, you get Nice Flower. Okay, actually using more than one power-up, and hey, it's only used to skate across the water and jump up some sprinklers, and then that's it. Again, I really like how the power-ups are utilized in small ways. Although, with the Ice Flower specifically, I'll get as much use out of that as I possibly can. I'd rather that thing be used, throughout the entire game, because I love that thing so much. But, it's fine. Then you go through this really, really janky platforming segment. It's like the jumps they just feel weird. There's this spinning platform that's only used once in the entire game. It's a floating platform object, and it has a coin on top of it. And then you can spawn 5 sling stars, 4 of which launch you into the middle one, and then it launches you away. What? And there's these poles and these little pegs that hardly ever get used throughout the game as well. And it's so janky, and it feels weird. The jumps after that have moving platforms where it doesn't feel like you should be making the jumps, or they feel too small or too big. And then there's these random bubble cannons, and it's unclear if you're supposed to use the bubble cannons or if you're just supposed to jump and they're obstacles. The level is just weird. After some hole climbing and probably getting sniped by Magic Koopas because I'm bad, you activate another bubble cannon, which launches you to an entirely different planet. The only time a bubble cannon is used for that in the entire game. No, Honey Hive does not count. Those just launch you to different parts of the same planet. It's a really, really weird design. Definitely one of the most bizarre. Um, then it gets even weirder. You're on this very tiny planet with water where these Cheep Cheeps are bouncing. Also, the only time Cheep Cheeps are used in the entire game. What the hell is this? And then you activate another bubble launcher and get launched to a planet, a glass planet, where you have to ground pound tennis balls into the center. What is the center? The center is a watermelon. So you ground pound tennis balls into a watermelon to explode the glass of the planet, and that spawns a star? What is even happening here? None of this, all there are so many assets in this level that only get used one time, and they're just so random. I have no idea what the developers were smoking when they made this mission. And again, some of the platforming is really janky for no reason. But the mission works. I mean, it's not like broken or any. It's not unfun. It's just so unbelievably bizarre. And I guess I just have no idea what I'm supposed to think of it. I guess I'd give this mission a B tier. It's certainly memorable, but I'm gonna put it probably below Top Maniac and the Top Man Tribe. Yeah, this is just one of the most bizarre missions in the game. Some of that platforming is pretty bad level design, which is a very, very rare thing to come across in this game. Not complete. This isn't the only instance, mind you, but it's just very uncommon. And yeah, I feel like this is one of those ideas where galaxies where they just took a bunch of random assets that they were gonna completely scrap, threw them in one, and just said, just throw them all in one mission. It's fine. So yeah, that is a very weird one there. Next up is Deep Dark 3, Guppy and the Underground Lake. It's the return of Guppy, the shark guy, and you swim through rings, again, in the Underground Lake. It's really easy and doesn't introduce any new mechanics at all. It's not... What is this? Top of D tier. It's fun, I guess. You just swim down in the Underground Lake after doing the whole fire flower thing again, and then you just swim through rings and get the star, and that's it. It's not difficult. It's just really weird. Although I'm actually going to bump this up into C tier because I forgot to mention that this star actually contains a really cool mini boss with another undergunner that shoots bubbles. You could either run up to him, which is really tricky to do when he's shooting bubbles, or you could spin coconuts at his face. Either way, you're gonna have a good old time with it. And yeah, it's kind of cool that it corrupted the cannon. Although I changed my mind, that's not enough to bump it out of D tier. Cool, but not that cool. Finally, we get to Ghost Ship Daredevil Run. Easily one of the best Daredevil comments in the game. Now, let me clarify something that I probably should have clarified earlier. Like, I have Battle Rock's secret mission, Battle Rock's Garbage Dump, above Beach Bowl 3, which the Garbage Dump mission is a much, much shorter mission than Beach Bowl 3, the secret undersea cavern is. But I'm okay with that because this is supposed to be a shorter secret extra mission. So within that context, I think the mission works. And within the context of a comet that is realistically on the developer's end filler content and realistically on our end replayability that's completely optional, in that context, this mission is incredible. And yes, I am judging these in the context of if they're using, some of these missions like Fast Foes on the Cyclone Stone feel like filler, and then other ones like this feel like they take the original mission, flip it on its head by just changing a tiny bit and changing the tone completely. This boss fight is pretty insane when you only have one hit point. Granted, for me, on subsequent playthroughs, it's really, really easy still because I've played through the game a lot of times. But I do like to challenge myself by refusing to kill any of the Magikoopa enemies that Camilla spawns. Um, and then there are just so many projectiles flying around, and it's crazy. I really do like this mission a lot. I'm going to give it the top of A tier. It's really good. Not quite worthy of S tier because it is repeated content, which is a criticism I do have of this game in general. One of the few big criticisms I have of this game. It does feel like a lot of the comments just kind of repeat content. Granted, though, there are the purple coin comments do not feel like that at all. They feel really fun, and there's only 15 of these comments in the game, which doesn't is not nearly as much as like I would have thought it would have been a lot more than that. But when you actually think about it, all the 15 big galaxies get these special missions, and that's it. So as long as some of them do suck, not gonna lie, but the ones that are fun are fun. So this one is one of the good ones, and I think if they are going to introduce filler content, this is one good way to do it. Deep Dark Purple Coins, Plunder the Purple Coins. Another very controversial one. It is very interesting because essentially there's no challenge really of there's no risk of dying unless you drown, but just go to the surface. There's literally nothing to stop you from doing that. There are a few boos that could potentially kill you, I guess, but just don't play bad. Yeah, the basically this is just a fun mission to run around in and find all the purple coins. I like that. It's not again, I one thing I do like about the purple comments is some of them are really challenging and are testing your skills throughout the game, but others like this just kind of have you run around and enjoy how fun it is to control Mario and Luigi in Mario Galaxy. And I like how some of these purple coins do require you to do some pretty advanced techniques. Like you have to jump out of the water, wall jump off the ship, and then spin backwards into the wall. That is something that the game, up until this point, and really after this, because this is basically the end of the game, doesn't really require you to do anywhere else. And I think that's really cool because, again, this is the late game. You want it to be challenging. I really like that design, and I do think it encourages people to, like I mentioned in Beach Bowl 1, you can potentially skip a lot of big chunk of the level. I think it's kind of encouraging you to do that with these types of purple coin, tricky purple coin placements. I really like that aspect of design, and yeah, it shows how cool it is to control Mario and Luigi in this game. So, with that context, and with it just being a nice, relaxing, fun mission, I'm going to give it right below Beach Bowl's purple coins, and yeah, I think it's a really fun mission to do. And now we are on to Deep Dark Secret Boo in a Box. So I mentioned how weird Bubble Blast Off was. This one is weird for a different reason. It's very... So you go down to the underground, the undersea cavern, or the underground lake, as it's called, and you just throw a shell at these bomb things, or just run into them yourself and damage boost through it. And then you get tossed into this room, which is a box that you have to keep flipping the gravity of to eventually open a window so that light shines through, and you can kill the boo that contains the star, and you win. There's also a really annoying urchin that will definitely get in your way, and it can be a little frustrating to get him off your back. But again, for a secret mission, I like how it has you going down to the area that you go in the third mission, but you don't go down. I don't think you can get there in the third mission at all. You have to go down there at a different time and during a different mission where you weren't originally supposed to go down there, which I think is cool, you know, exploring the level a little bit. And I like the unique challenge it provides as well. Also, you can just backflip spin, wall jump spin to flip the gravity prematurely, and I find that really funny. It's really easy to do, and is kind of another example of using the experience that you've gained throughout the game to kind of cheat a little bit, but it's not very hard, which kind of makes it feel like filler when you actually do it as intended. Yeah, I don't know. I like this one. It's unique. Bottom of B tier. It's cool. All right. Dreadnought Galaxy. Dreadnought 1, Infiltrating the Dreadnought. The galaxy that, for whatever reason, absolutely destroyed my capture card when I was recording this game. Yes, I did record footage of this game. The reason we're not looking at it is because I cannot find a way to edit. Sorry, that's off topic. Anyway, Infiltrating the Dreadnought is fantastic. It's really, Dreadnought is kind of the parallel to Battle Rock, and on one hand, I don't like reusing themes. We only have 15 big galaxies to work with, and we're talking about Super Mario Galaxy. You literally have an infinite amount of level concepts that you could use, but I can't really complain when Dreadnought is almost almost always better than Battle Rock in almost every aspect. Dreadnought 1 is Infiltrating the Dreadnought is really fun. I like it a lot. I like how you have to use the water level of the rise the water level of the last planet to get up on it. How you have to dodge the sentry beams throughout the level. I like a lot of the unique planet shapes and designs. This is a really fun mission. I like a lot. I'm going to give it. Oh man, it's going real slow right now. But I'm going to probably, let's see, definitely above. Let's see, right below. Probably below Beach Bowl 1. I think that is a solid place for it. Now, you know what? Above Beach Bowl 1. I'm really bad at making up my mind. And above Bowser 1. And above Airship Armada. Not above Deep Dark's Purple Coins. Yeah, I'm bad at making up my mind sometimes. But that's where I'm putting it overall. Really fun mission. I like a lot. Also, why is... I don't really think... I think Bowser 1 is a little bit better than Sinking Airships. The boss fight isn't quite enough to save it. But whatever. Yeah. Cool mission. I like it. Next one. Dreadnought 2. Dreadnought's Colossal Cannons. Again, this is a better version of Battle Rock Barrage. Although, honestly, it's kind of interesting. Battle Rock 1 was an auto-scroller, and then it was breaking into the Battle Rock. And then Infiltrating the Dreadnought was Mission 1, and then an auto-scroller. Interesting. Regardless, this mission is awesome. I love how you have to... It's basically... You're on these little platforms, right? And it's kind of a 2D section, but you also have to be careful to make sure you walk straight. There's cannons shooting at you, but unlike in Battle Rock Galaxy, you don't have very much room to dodge them at all, and you either have to shoot star bits at them, jump over them, or very carefully get on one of the edges of the platforms. And you have to react very quickly to dodge this stuff, too. I really like this mission. I like how you go upside down, you go sideways, you get off the platform sometimes to do some other platforming. Hell, there's even one segment where there's a freaking thwomp out of nowhere. It's really cool. And then the end segment, where you have the, like the little laser guys that you have to bounce on. I have no idea what they're called. But that's kind of a cool ending. Kind of disconnected from the rest of the level, but it's fun, and it kind of puts some pressure on you because you don't want to have to do that section again. It is an auto-scroller, which does make it kind of frustrating if you die, but it's a really damn good one. So I'm going to put it below, actually right below Infiltrating the Dreadnought. Not quite as replayable, but still really good. Like it a lot. And then we have Revenge of the Top Man Tribe. Now, I grown so hard at this because a lot of this level is just hitting the top men into electric gates again, which is fun to do, but we already kind of established how the mechanic works. Why are you teaching it to us again? But I actually like this mission a lot more than the Battle Rock version, just because I think the 2D section is really good and very dynamic and interesting and tricky. I like how you can get an optional 1-up that is really hard to get as intended. And yeah, I think the planet design and everything else is great. The only thing that drags it down is the boss fight at the end being really boring and stupid, and I don't like it. So ultimately, I will put it probably bottom of A tier. It's good, but is dragged down by its boss fight. And then we have the Comet, which is doing the same thing again, but in a speedrun Comet. Why? This is just filler again. The mission itself on its own is fun, so I guess I'll give it the top of C tier. But you have, you know what? No, I won't. I'm giving the bottom of C tier because you just have so much time. You again, I understand. I I'm pretty sure when I was really young, I died to this mission because I ran out of time once. But how, I have no idea. I think it was probably just the pole star segment. There's a pole star segment where you go like in between the ship, which is really cool, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But I think I just ended up getting hit, falling all the way back down, and then panicking and losing. Realistically, I was just bad. You have like well over 5 minutes to beat this mission, which is an insane amount of time. I just I wish the speed comments were a little more interesting. Galaxy 2 did a fantastic job making the speed comments better by introducing timers so that you could refill your time, making it much more intense and dynamic. And you could risk skipping a timer, but then you have less time, but you could also go faster that way. Really interesting dynamics that you don't get here. You're just doing the same level again. You just have a limited time to do it. There are a few small changes, but I don't care. I'm just not a fan of this. This is the type of comet that I criticize with Galaxy a lot. It's filler garbage. And I'm actually going to bump it down to D tier because the more I talk about it, the more I dislike this one. I'll put it probably right here. At least it's not a disappointment, but it's just frustrating. On the other hand, Dreadnought's Purple Coins is incredible. This is, let's see, the Battle Station's Purple Coins is what it's called. This mission has you going on the auto-scroller segment that I already praised, again, while collecting purple coins. It's very tough. And the game does easily the most cruel trick the game ever does. There's only 99 coins on the auto-scroller segment, so when you get to the launch star at the end, or sling star, I don't remember what it is, you are thinking that you missed a coin, but there's one single coin floating in the path on the way to the end segment. That is a really cruel trick, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some player kept retrying the mission over and over and over again, only getting 99 and thinking they missed one and just didn't take the launch star because they thought they were just gonna get killed when they landed. I think that's hilarious. That's really mean. I mean, not in a bad way. It's funny. Overall, this is a really fun mission. I'm going to put it right above Dreadnought 2. Really fun purple coin comet. Love it, love it, love it. And then we get Dreadnought's Garbage Dump, which is the same mission as Battle Rock. Why? Just why? And this one's even worse because you just go down, you go underneath the first planet, go into a pipe, and oh, the planet's already there. And then the garbage is arranged in a bit of a different way, I guess, and it's a little bit harder than the original. Now, again, in a vacuum, this one is right next to the Battle Rock version, just a little below. But when you consider the first one already happened, and yes, it is possible the player might find this one but not the original, but ultimately, like, it's just filler and repeated content again, and I hate that. You could have done something way cooler and more unique. Utilize the spring mushroom. It really fits the mechanical theme of this galaxy. A spring mushroom planet on the same level of like something like what Chompworks did in Galaxy 2. Although Galaxy 2 literally only used the spring mushroom for that one galaxy and that's it, which, yeah, I have a lot of problems with Galaxy 2, but I also think it does a lot better than Galaxy 1 as well, so it kind of balances out, but I still prefer the original. Anyway, this is just really disappointing. Again, I'm going to put the bottom of D tier because in a vacuum, it's fine, but man, I'm really tempted to put it in F tier. What a disappointing mission. And now we have Drip Drop Galaxy, one of the most forgotten about missions, and honestly for a fair reason. Basically, you hit some eels with shells. That's it. That's all you do. I like the idea that their fishing spot has been taken over, I guess. Kind of a neat aesthetic, but overall, it's just fine. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in bottom of C. Not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not all that interesting. I like this. Again, I like the swimming controls, and there are a few unique moments, like you open a chest and a freaking puffer fish pops out and trolls you. That's kind of funny, but whatever. Dusty Dune 1. This one is let's see, Soaring on the Desert Winds, or is that the second one? Yes, no, this is the first one. Soaring on the Desert Winds. Now, I remember when I was younger, I used to really hate Dusty Dune Galaxy, and I know a lot of other people shared my sentiment. They don't like Dusty Dune Galaxy, they think it's boring. And it's also one of the galaxies that has the most missions in the game. Huh, now that I think about it. But I remember really liking Battle Rock when I was younger, but looking at Battle Rock, I think Battle Rock is actually less interesting to me than Dusty Dune overall. I don't know why I hate Dusty Dune so much. I actually really like it. And Soaring on the Desert Winds, not a bad mission. The part with the tornadoes at the start, okay, that kind of sucks. I don't like it at all. It's really slow and boring. Yeah, the tornadoes are kind of cool, but I think the later planets use them way better. There's also a random 2D section that uses the Fire Flower, which may be the first time you see the Fire Flower, depending on how you play through the game, which is a really, really weird way to introduce it, but whatever. I really like this one. I think the 2D section's neat. Climbing up the tower is fun. I like how you have to get the star. It is a little annoying to trudge through the sand that's going against you, but overall, that's not enough to spoil this one. I'm going to give it top of B tier. Or maybe... Probably bottom of A, actually. I really like it. It's good. Dusty Dune 2 is Soaring on the Desert Winds. This one I'm not nearly as big a fan of. So, every planet in this one is just kind of annoying for one reason or another. There's the one where you gotta collect the star chips on the planet with the spinning sand, or the sand that kind of flows in one direction. That's just annoying. That's not really fun. If you miss one, you just gotta go around again, and you get this kind of cool section where you get to go one way or another on jumping platforms. That part's not too bad. But then the last planet with like the you got to go on different sides. I like how you go on different sides of it through these like keyhole looking things, but the planet itself is so boring and generic and just not interesting at all. And also the opening segment just has you kill some pokey heads and then a big pokey and then move on. Overall, just a really, really boring mission. I do like how you have to ground pound and then run back as quickly as you can. It kind of adds a little bit of pressure. The timer's really generous, but that's good because I don't really want to do the segment more than once. It's not that fun. Man, I just don't like this mission. This sand blasting through the sand is probably the reason I didn't like Dusty Dune when I was younger, and why a lot of other people don't like it either. On its own, it wouldn't be that bad, but honestly, you know what? I'm just going to do something I'm probably not going to do for the rest of this video. I'm going to talk about the comet right now, because the comet absolutely ruins this one. As a one-time thing, I might like this a little bit more, but the Sandblast speedrun changes basically nothing. Has a really generous timer once again, so it's just a repeat of the mission you just did. And the music just doesn't fit the atmosphere as well. This ruins it. I also completely forgot about the planet that has the boulder swing on it. It's probably the best planet in the galaxy. They're really tiny planets you can go on different sides of. There's a hidden rainbow star. That's kind of cool. But it's just so boring. One decent... That's not even that interesting of a planet. You still just kind of get launched by a sling star, just wait as you just fly through the air, which is kind of cool looking, but man, these missions are so disappointing. I am giving Blasting Through the Sand a D tier. I'll put it above King Caliente's Spicy Return, I guess. And the Comet, F tier. Bottom of F tier. I hate this mission. It is the definition of filler garbage. And the worst part is you have to select this mission a total of 3 different times throughout this game. One to get the normal star, one to get the Comet star, and another to get the secret star. But thankfully the secret star is pretty early on. And speaking of, we might as well do this one now too. The secret star is Treasure of the Pyramid. Nice callback to Mario 64 with that star name, by the way. The mission itself, though, isn't great either. Yeah, well, it's okay. I like the idea of it, of the pyramid auto-scroller segment where you kind of have to go back and forth and look for the silver stars. But the idea is really all I like. In execution, it's not very fun. Top of D tier, unique idea. I like some of the cool dynamic shots after you clear out the silver or get all the silver stars and the sand drains. Um, but yeah, ultimately I can't put it higher than that. Actually, I'm putting it below Deep Dark 3, and yeah, that's not a great showing there. But then we have the Sunbaked Sandcastle, which isn't bad. Sunbaked Sandcastle has you using some bullet bills, raising and lowering this giant platform, which I know some people probably wouldn't like because it is kind of slow, but you can take it at your own pace and do go faster and faster in subsequent playthroughs, which is something you cannot really say about blasting through the sand nearly as much. And I really, really like the Sandcastle segment where it slowly rises up and you have to outrun it. It's not super difficult, but it's really fun. Not nearly as good as Dusty Dune 1, in my opinion, but I think it will sit just fine right below Battle Rock 2 and below the purple. No, above the purple mission. It's pretty good. I like it. What is that? Okay, that's it. Oops. And now we have two more missions in Dusty Dune. First one is Dusty Dune's Purple Coin mission. Purple coins in the desert. I really like this Purple Coin mission. It has a similar feeling to Plunder the Purple Coins from Deep Dark Galaxy, but there is a lot higher of a risk of dying with this one, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing necessarily. I'd say more often than not, probably a bad thing, just because it can be really frustrating getting all but 5 coins and then falling into the quicksand and having to do it all over again. So it's not nearly as good in that respect. Difficulty doesn't necessarily make a star better or worse, but it's still fun. I really like a lot of the tricky jumps required, especially getting up on the thwomp, which is not hard for someone that's played through the game a million times like I have, but for a new player it can be a very daunting and tricky task, thinking, well, how do I get up here? Can I utilize the tornado? Do I have to wait till it lowers and somehow time my wall jump with how it's going down or something? It could be interesting for a newer player. Overall, I really like this mission. It's fun. As for its placement, though, I'm gonna give it top of B. I think that's probably fitting. The death thing can be kind of annoying, and the area itself, I know I criticize. It is used the same area as the sandblast, blasting through the sand, but I think that it's more dynamic, and there's a lot more going on when you have purple coins to collect. So, I like this one. Now we have Bullet Bill on Your Back. This one is the secret mission, and I gotta start off by saying how you get to the secret mission is beyond stupid. So it's in the Sunbaked Sandcastle, and there's one planet in Sunbaked Sandcastle which has sand, and immediately after you land, you have to run down to the right, I think, or you have to run in one direction and ground pound the stump before it sinks into the sand, and then a new launch star will spawn, and you can take it to this other planet. That is a really, really, really stupid hiding spot for a secret star, in my opinion. And this game usually does a okay job at hiding its secret spots, and none of them are super abrasive or difficult, but this one is just atrocious. And the mission itself is also not amazing, but it's not bad. I guess probably right in between Battle Rock 1 and Battle Rock Luigi. I think that works. It's not terrible, but yeah, I think it's kind of bogged down by the horrible hiding spot. Also, I did forget to mention, if you do miss the stump, you can just wait on the planet, but it takes well over a minute, like in real time, a minute, for the sand to fall. And I know a minute may not sound like a lot of time, but when you're just standing there waiting, it's really boring. And it's also very, very unclear that you can even do this. Many times when I was younger, I remember missing the stump and just replaying the entire level because I didn't realize the sand went back down. It's kind of a weird perspective trick. You can't really tell if the sand's rising very easily unless you're paying close attention. Overall, yeah, not amazing. But I still think Dusty Dune is way better than I remember. Definitely more fun than Battle Rock, honestly. I don't really remember Battle Rock being that bland, but kind of just ended up like that, I guess. Anyway, Flip Switch Galaxy. Top of C tier. It's very, very okay. You hit some switches and you get the star. That's it. It's super, super short. I like the background. Music's okay. Yeah, there is just nothing to this one. I'm gonna put it below Bubble Breeze. It's fun, I guess, but it's definitely like a last minute addition. You can just tell. And now we have Freeze Flame Galaxy, easily one of my favorite galaxies in the entire game, probably my favorite. And you'll very quickly see why. Starting off with the frozen peak of Baron Burr, right up there into S tier, below Bubble Blast Galaxy though, just because the boss fight is kind of underwhelming. This level starts off with a penguin race that introduces you to ice skating, or not a penguin race, but you have to catch the penguin. And it's really fun to long jump on the ice. Oh, it is so satisfying. You gain so much speed. It's ridiculous. Then the penguin says you have a small chance, maybe but a chance. I don't know why I remember that quote so well, but for whatever reason, that is one of the most memorable parts of the entire game from my childhood, and I have absolutely no idea why. Anyway, then you go on the launch star and you get on the main planet. The music is really cool and atmospheric. Do some more ice skating, and you get introduced to the ice flower, and you have a large open area to mess around with it as much as you want, and then you can jump up some sprinklers to get up to the top and do some more platforming on some moving platforms, some little enemies that push you out, and then you fight the boss. Very, very easy boss, but it's fine. I don't mind it. And it uses the ice flower, so this mission's automatically amazing. Really, really fun mission. I like the atmosphere. I like I like how it introduces the mechanics really well. Overall, just a great mission. And then we have the next mission in Freeze Flame Galaxy, which is Freeze Flame's Blistering Core. Again, absolutely adore that name. This one is also S tier, although actually I would put it above even Bubble Blast and the you know what? It's above. Is it? Hold on. Give me a second here. Yeah, this is going all the way above Bonefin Galaxy. I No, it's not. Sorry. I'm getting a little bit too crazy. Still S tier above Bowser Jr.'s. Not quite SS. Not quite the top of the top, but still amazing. So this mission utilizes the Fire Flower in a really, really cool looking planet. You have to go on. You start on the bottom of the planet and get introduced to the Fire Flower, how it can light torches. Then you jump up a staircase that flips the gravity of the other side of the planet. You do some more platforming, some more Fire Flower segments. There's some annoying urchins that are really, really irritating and kind of keep it out of SS tier. But some of the platforming is just so fun. Like how it sinks and rotates into the lava and you have to dodge it. It's just really enjoyable. And then, man, the last segment where you get the Fire Flower, have to run back, stand on the platform, and use the Fire Flower to light the torches to get the star. It's so cool. And the music, oh, the music's incredible. It fits the atmosphere so, so well. And, man, this mission is just amazing. And honestly, one of the other things that makes this one great is, again, using your skills on of the game to skip things. Now, some of this is not intentional, but I don't care. It's still really fun. Even if it isn't intentional, it still adds a lot. You can beat this entire mission without the Fire Flower, which is really cool because a lot of these torches have to be lit. None of these torches, though, are required except for the ones to get to the star, which, if you're clever, you can use the little cinders that are around to light the torches for you, which requires some very tricky jumping and staying out of the lava, but it's really fun and cool to do this entire mission without the Fire Flower. Every other torch, you can just do tricky wall jumps, triple jumps, and backflips, side flips, and other moves to skip the raising the staircases and the other platforms like that to get up there. It's really, really fun to do. And I can't credit it too much, but it's not quite worthy of SS tier just because of how annoying some of the urchins are. But overall, a great, great mission. And Hot and Cold Collide, also fantastic. Giving this one an S tier as well. Not quite. It's definitely the weakest of the three missions, but it's still amazing. I love how you have to use the The starting planet is a combination of ice and fire, representing how hot and cold collide in this mission. Then you go to a planet that has an ice segment with icy water you have to dodge, which was introduced in the first mission of the galaxy, so you're familiar with the concept. Then you have to jump over to the fire segment, and you have to unlock the fire flower by dodging the rising and falling lava, get the fire flower, run back to the icy segment, light the torches, and then you can fly all the way to the last planet, which has you ice skating on top of lava with the ice flower, which is the coolest use of the thing in the entire game. I absolutely love this segment. You have no idea. Such a cool and unique star. I really love it. I'm actually going to put this one above the original. Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for this mission, but overall, Hot and Cold Collide, really, really good. And actually, I'm going to put it above Bubble Blast and above Wall Jumping Up Waterfalls, and that's not going any higher than that. But yeah, really, really great. Love it a lot. But hey, the Ice Flower can skate on lava, so maybe we'll see the Ice Flower again in a lava level. Foreshadowing the missed opportunities. Anyway, next mission is Freeze Flames Cosmic Race, Frosty Cosmic Mario Race, or Frosty Cosmic Luigi Race. This is the first Cosmic Comet that we've talked about, and the Cosmic Comets, in my opinion, are by far the best comets in the game, other than Purple Comets. They add a lot to the galaxies, and I think they are way more interesting and fun than a lot of the other comets. You're not just replaying the mission, you're actually doing a race. Sometimes you are actually doing the exact same segment, like in this one, which is why this is one of the weaker ones in my opinion, but it's still a lot of fun. I really like how you have to use the Ice Flower while racing. This is the only one that uses a power-up, which is really cool. And, or wait, no, this one doesn't use a power-up. What am I talking about? Everything's just replaced with ice. Oops. My bad. Well, basically you're just ice skating, but this one's a lot of fun because you can just long jump and spam long jump and skip so many segments. It's a lot of fun. Overall, definitely A tier. I'd put it probably below, let's see, probably above Dreadnought 1 even. I really like this one. Really fun race. And we're not done yet, because we have 2 more missions that are also absolutely incredible in Freeze Flame Galaxy. First of all, we have the Purple Coin mission, which I'm actually going to talk about second, because a lot of the things in it are expanded versions of Freeze Flame's secret mission, Conquering the Summit. This mission is a secret mission that can be found in the first star of Freeze Flame Galaxy, and instead of going up one segment, or the first time you use sprinklers, you can do a triple jump, which is kind of tricky, off of the extra sprinklers, and there is a one-up hidden there, so a lot of players might think that's the end of it, but if you do a triple jump to get up onto the platform, there's a launch star, which is one of the coolest hiding spots in the game. And then, once you get over there, instead of using the Ice Flower some more, you use the Fire Flower to melt some snowmen after doing some cool platforming segments, and then you climb up the summit, dodging some ice bats that you can only kill with the Fire Flower, which are so satisfying to take out. Watch out for some platforms that are trying to push you off, and get up to the top, and man, you get this beautiful shot of the entire mountain from the tip top as you get the star. Really, really cool hiding spot, really cool reward for finding the hiding spot. Amazing, amazing star. S tier for sure. I'm going to put it probably below, honestly, above Hot and Cold Collide. It is so much fun. And you can see in the screenshot, there's the northern lights that look so good from the top of the mountain. They're one of the coolest shots in the entire game. And there's some steep competition too, so that's saying something. Next up is Freeze Flame's Purple Coin mission, which does have the purple coins on the summit. Basically, it's kind of a combination of plunder the purple coins and purple coins in the desert, where you have to collect purple coins kind of at your own pace, but it's kind of in between plunder the purple coins and purple coins in the desert, because the desert had a lot of risk of dying, and the plunder the purple coins had no risk. This one has some risk, but not a ton. You want to go to the summit first, because there you actually do have quite a bit of risk, but everywhere else, you might take some damage from the freezing water or something, but overall, you're probably going to be fine. I really like exploring this mountain area. I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. It's not quite worthy of S tier because you are just going through the same area. But Captain Toad meeting you at the top of the summit and giving you this actually emotional speech and then having you jump off of the planet with a long jump is really cool. It actually makes Captain Toad, you actually take Captain Toad seriously for once. He tells you that the conquering the summit is the core of every adventurer's heart, and tells you it will take all the courage you possess to jump off. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's super emotional. It's a freaking Mario game, but well, there is some emotional stuff in this game. That is not really one of them. It's just a really cool thing. You actually take Captain Toad seriously for once in the game, which is really cool because oftentimes he's just kind of portrayed as a goofball who acts way confident but is a complete coward on the inside. Ultimately, I really like that. Almost gets S tier, but barely misses out. Yeah, so literally every single Freeze Flame mission is either A tier or S tier. Yeah, there's a reason that Freeze Flame is my favorite galaxy in the game. Next up, we have Gateway Galaxy 1. What is that one called? Let's see. I believe Grand Star Rescue. This is the intro to the game. And honestly, it's just okay. I think it does a decent job introducing some of the circular planet mechanics, but that's really all it does. It also introduces you to spinning as well, and some flip switches. It's pretty short for an introduction, and it's not bad, but I'm gonna give it the top of B tier overall because it doesn't do like an outstanding job of introducing the game, and I think it's so important. I think it's such an important thing to do right that even though it does a good job, I think it would have to do a really, really great job to get higher than it does. It's kind of like the finale does an absolutely outstanding job of being the finale, but the intro, it just does a good job, which in terms of this game, I mean, compared to most games, this is still absolutely incredible, but, you still have to kind of weigh when we're comparing it to some absolute masterpieces here. So that's Gateway Galaxy. But we have one more, Gateway's Purple Coins, which I don't know how I feel about. Gateway's Purple Coins, it basically has you using the Red Star, which is a really cool flying power-up that you only use in this one mission and in the Comet Observatory. This is one I'm fine with, though, because it's clearly meant to be more like a gimmick, not really a power-up used in normal levels, so I'm fine with it only being used once. The star's also red, which is cool, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say this one it's a really emotional one, and you get a cool speech from Rosalina. The music is really grandiose, and there's really no risk of dying except to some Goombas, but, like, how bad are you? And yeah, using the red star's fun. Half the purple coins are just flying in a straight line, though, so... But then again, what else are you going to do with this planet? It's fine. It seems kind of unnecessary, honestly, but whatever. You introduce the red star fine enough. I'm going to give it bottom of B tier. It's okay. It's nothing outstanding. And actually, with that, I'm going to be wrapping up for part 1. I'm going to be splitting this into 2 parts because this is a very, very long video. I didn't realize how long this was going to take. I probably should have started to realize that. But we have some amazing stars left to go. We have some of my favorite galaxies, Melty Molten and Toy Time left. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about some of these missions. We already talked about a lot of great ones, but there's still plenty more to come. So if you did enjoy this, part 2 should be out relatively soon. I will put a link to it in the description if I can figure out how to do that, which is a big if. I have never uploaded a video before. So yeah, wish me luck on that one. Thank you very much for watching, though. I greatly appreciate it. If you watched all the way, I can't believe it. That's really crazy. It's cool to see that I have a lot of passion for video games, especially this one, and it's really cool to be able to share that passion with other people, even if it is in a kind of clumsy format. And I do apologize. This is a pretty low quality video, about as low quality as it could possibly be. But again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.